Just looking at people's loss runs and understanding what the story is that loss runs tell you is huge to you. And if you know how to look at those and how to understand them on the fly, you're going to be golden. But you don't have to know about insurance to know how to read loss runs, right? You can read a report that doesn't have anything. I mean, it has everything to do with how their rates are set, but nothing to do with the actual policy language. Like I tell new producers all the time, if you can just go in and understand that loss runs serve a purpose outside of you requesting them so you can get quotes, I mean, then you can really drive a lot of change in business. Like I can go in, and if I notice on the loss runs that we've got, 6 lacerations to the ring finger on people's left hands, that's a trend. Like I don't have to be brilliant to say, hey, what's going on the left ring finger on people's hands? Show me the workstation in that they're operating in. And then you go look at the workstation. Is it set up right? Does it have guarding on it? Are they specifically bypassing the guards? Have they been trained correctly? And these are all questions you can ask, but it's not underwriting data. It's for you to understand what's going on that's causing the claims issue, because the loss runs told you the story. There's a problem there. And your goal is, now you have a heads up that there's an issue. Your goal is to figure out what the issue is and solve it before somebody gets their left ring finger cut off. Right. Yeah. You can look at loss runs and see that. You can look at the loss runs and see that there's not a lot of detail. That maybe if you look at the loss runs and there's a workers' comp claim and it just says cut finger on left hand, great. What exactly happened? Did they need stitches? What were they doing? All of those things. That's not the fault of the loss runs or the carrier. That leads to the question, talk to me about your accident reporting and accident investigation process. What happens when there's an accident in your operation? Are you required to fill out a report? If so, who does that? Where do they turn it in? Because the reason the loss runs aren't filled out right is because we haven't given them the information they need to fill them out right. So, looking at it, just the general information that's there. Look at the date that the accident happened and the date it was reported. Like, why did it take you 2 weeks to report this claim? What's your company policy for employees report injured workers reporting accidents? In most places, it should be before close of business. Before their shift is over, the day they're injured, they're supposed to do that. Then who goes out and actually fills it out? Who gets witness statements? Who does all these things? These companies aren't doing that. And the reason they're not doing it is because they feel like it takes a lot of time, but then they want to complain when their rates go up and they don't realize like, oh, well, my rates went up $4,000 this year. Well, we probably could have saved that if you would have just invested 2 hours of your time cumulatively doing full-blown reports on the accidents, which means you would have worked for $2,000 an hour. Are you not willing to work for $2,000 an hour? Right. They don't think that way. And so a lot of what I spend my time doing at the point of sale is just taking the numbers and I don't want to say manipulating them, but just reorganizing them to make sense to somebody as to why they need to do something.